That's all we yell about, especially as black women. We always yell about how we are always undervalued, overlooked, and nobody stands in our corner. But the moment we start to stand in each other's corner, it becomes a huge issue. Like, it's not normal, it's not sane. So is the trauma so bad that we can't even take it when something good comes? Hello everyone. So it has not been an easy 7 days for women, especially women of color. I think for me it started last Friday with Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. Then it transitioned to Kamala Harris. And I'm just not happy about it, so here it is. I feel like as women, we are not allowed to be ourselves. We're not allowed to be ourselves. And you know who gives us the most flack about it? It's not men. It's ourselves. It's women. We criticize ourselves so much to the point where it's sickening. It's sickening. I think that we have to figure out what our own issues are, our own insecurities, and why it's so important for us to beat up on each other. As I reflected over the last week, I thought about, something I talk about a lot, which is the imposter syndrome, and it's because I'm like really deep into this understanding of it with my research right now. But it bothers me that there is nothing that we can do that will ever be enough. We will never be in a place where people will not shut the hell up and allow us to be who we are. We won't. We don't give each other enough grace. Like, grace is something that is absent amongst women. We just don't. And I remember last week reading just some of the things people were saying about Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, and how these women have had to have grown up without fathers, and all this stuff about how they are just like putting out this negative image for younger girls and all of this stuff. Well, I am a product of the Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown era. And I survived. And if I survived, you can survive too. I think it's very important as parents, if you do not want your children to listen to that type of music, monitor it, censor, and do not allow your children to listen to that type of music. I don't think that music was made for children. I know it wasn't made for children. It's made for grown-ass women. So once you remove that from the equation, why is it such a big issue? There are artists who create statues, and the statues may have exposed private parts, and these statues become million-dollar pieces that people all over the world covet and do their best to acquire one day. So I don't really understand the difference between that level of art and someone who is rapping. There are men who say the craziest thing about women in their lyrics, who encourage you to take Xannies and whatever other pills, and there's no issue with that. Well, I'm sorry, there may be some issue, but it's not a huge flack. There's not a lot of flack given about it. But with us, if a woman wants to talk about her body and she finds liberation in that, allow her to have that liberation. It may not be your cup of tea, but do not degrade them. Do not say that they did all this and their man still cheated. That has nothing to do with the song or their body parts. That's something else. That means absolutely nothing. And I feel like we have to move past that. We have to. It all stems from our own issues. we deflect all the time. We take whatever we're feeling, and instead of dealing with those own issues that we have internally, we have to find some way to make it sound like the next person is less than, or they're not resolved on the inside with some issues that they may have. I just don't get it. It's just like the same people, it's just my theory, the same people who have an issue with that are the same people who generally hate on Beyonce, right? You hate that she has a huge fan base and all these women stand up for her in their stands, and that bothers you. You hate it so much that people can go out and support one another. It really gets under your skin, and I don't understand why we are at a point in our lives where we're unable to celebrate each other without it being an issue. Like, no one should go that hard for somebody else. Why the hell not? Why not? That's all we yell about, especially as Black women. We always yell about how we are always undervalued, overlooked, and nobody stands in our corner. But the moment we start to stand in each other's corner, it becomes a huge issue. Like, it's not normal, it's not sane. So is the trauma so bad that we can't even take it when something good comes? Like, we have to move past this. The issue with Kamala Harris, everyone keeps saying the same thing. She was a harsh prosecutor. Okay. The lady was a prosecutor. Her job is to try cases for people who have been charged with crimes, right? That's her job. So if you're going to do your job, aren't you going to do the best to be the best at your job? I don't know if it was harsh or not. I wasn't there. I can't say. I'm not going to be a bandwagon jumper and say, this is what she did. I wasn't there. I don't know. I haven't researched enough to know. I haven't looked at all of the cases in Sacramento to see what the ratio was. I don't know. So I'm not going to play those games. But this is what I will say. The lady comes with a lot of education, poise. She has a reputation of not to be a person who's not to be played with. And if she was a man, she would be everything that we would want to see in a man. But damn it, she's a woman. And so there has to be some way that we pick her apart too. Right? We have to. We can't just, for once, shut up and just allow something to happen and be okay with it. We have people in our family who we don't like, who we can't stand, who get on our nerves, but in public, nobody else better say anything about them. So why can't we do the same thing amongst each other? If you got an issue with something or with somebody, keep it at home, talk about it amongst your family and friends. Don't get on social media where you are amongst mixed company and you're putting things out there. It's unnecessary. That's how we continue to tear each other down. So what I'm saying is, 2020, if we haven't learned anything else, life is short. Extend some grace, because the same grace that is extended to other people and their art form and their political aspirations, you will want someone to give you that same love and respect. So that's really all I have today. I'm ranting. That's how I feel. But can we at least learn to give each other grace? We have to. I'm tired of us tearing each other down. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. Let's be better. Have a good Friday.